Steve, interesting afternoon. 3 points though. What did you make of it?
Well, it's 3 points, and it was difficult. And the longer it went, there was an edginess around the stadium, and we needed to get the second one. But after two really big, colossal games against Tottenham, and this was the real big game that people thought we were the favourites to win this. So we needed to go and win. And when we reflect on it all, we'll say, yeah, it was difficult, but we've got another 3 points. We'll take it, we'll move on, and that now puts us 10 points clear of Palace and Sunderland, which for me, in the big scheme of things, is not a bad return after nearly quarter of the season gone.
Yeah, excellent. Well, let's go right back to the start. Shawnee Aluko's in your team at 2 o'clock. At 2:30 he's out of it. What's gone on there?
He's hurt his calf in the warm-up, and you know, when you need your quality and that little bit of a trick to unlock a defence, then that's when you probably need Shawnee. But it's a frustration for us and for him, because he's still not, in my mind, fully recovered of whatever happened last year, last Christmas. It's all related to the same leg. It looks as if it's a calf injury or Achilles, but obviously a disappointment to us.
Okay, will you have to go and get that checked again, scanned again?
We've had scans.
Right.
I don't think it's the Achilles. We don't think that. We think it is a calf injury, so we'll see how it is. We'll go through all the process like we normally do.
Into the game, the goal comes. Sagbo's claiming it, but is it his?
Well, I haven't seen it, but it was a great run by Sagbo, and I think he's got a touch to it. He says it is. If I was him, I'd claim it. I'm not really bothered, to be perfectly honest. We've won 1-0, we move on, we're unbeaten at home, and that's key to us. That's key to our success, is our performances here. And today, you know, it was playing against 9 men. I've never had that before in the 15 years.
Right.
I don't think I've played ever against 9 men, and I don't think many of the players have. We had so much possession, but of course the crowd forced you forward, and they packed the penalty area and played sort of 5 at the back and 2 in midfield and 1 up top. And to be fair, they rolled up their sleeves for their manager after 2 silly challenges by their players.
Okay. Were they definitely red cards? Any doubt in
yeah,
your
yeah.
mind?
Well, the second one's a horror challenge. When you see that on the TV tonight, that is awful stuff. And Lee Cattermole, the one thing we're now is a directive from referees: if you leave the floor with your stud showing, whether you make contact with it or not, it's the intent and to endanger your opponent, and they are the rules. And unfortunately for Lee, he's caught up too often in that, and I hope he mends his ways with it.
What about David Myler, who was on the end of that Desena challenge?
He's lucky to get away with it. As I said, the challenge is an awful challenge, and he's lucky that he's got away with it.
Okay. Steve Harper saved your bacon a little bit second half on that.
Well,
save
he's done
from
exactly. He's done exactly. He's probably had nothing to do. Picked the ball up. He's got a calmness about him. He's played in the Premier League for 20 years, and you can see that. And that's exactly why we brought him here. I'm delighted with him. The 2 games at Tottenham, he's done exactly what we've asked of him, and fair play to him for his concentration level. And when I seen that one thrown in our box at the last minute and he's underneath it, I knew he'd catch it.
Any extra satisfaction given who it was you beat today for you?
I think there's too much wrote about that and said about it. It was awful 2 years ago. Let's all move on. Let's all move on, and maybe they might think, a few of them who, I'm not saying anymore. Maybe a few of them will think, well, hang on a minute, he's not done a bad job after all, when they look back on it.
Where are you with your FA charge when you're up before the FA? I know you've just given Gus Poyet some advice to make sure he doesn't get one.
Well, the very vast sums of money with it, with the fine here is just ridiculous. We're talking telephone numbers, but I'll look at it on Monday and I'll sit down with Matt again. I'm just weighing over the fact with the League Managers Association, and we've got till Monday at 4 o'clock, and we'll make a decision by then.
Right, okay. Any injuries out of today other than Aluko and maybe Myler that would worry for next week?
No, not at all.
How's Robbie Brady? Because is he not quite there yet, him and Corrin?
Well, Corrin looked fantastic in midweek, and that's why I didn't want to play him today.
Right.
He played 75 minutes, which against Spurs, and it was always going to be a big ask for him. Robbie's got to come to terms with that. It's the first time in his career that he's had something like he's got, and he's still got a little discomfort. Everything's all right and in place, but the more he goes, the more comfortable he becomes.
14 points, Steve, not bad.
Not a bad return so far.